Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to the Murfreesboro.com podcast. I am John I. Carey, your host as always, and we have two wonderful guests with us today. We have Brett and Marlin from the Consolidated Utility District. This is going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to this. But you guys just let out your, or released your annual report, right? Is that what we're doing? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. Awesome. But first off, let's get to know you guys real fast. So Brett, what do you do at the CUD? What's your role?
I manage communications internally and externally, everything from internal newsletters to our ratepayer newsletter to the annual report, the water quality report, things of that nature. So if you see our logo on it, that came from my office because my way of doing things is I tell our ratepayers, when you see our logo, it's official communication. If you don't see our logo, you should be skeptical.
All right. Well, there you go. And then, Marlon, what's your title? What do you do over there?
I'm the chief operator over the operators at the water treatment plant, and I'm responsible for keeping the plant manned 24/7, 365, and making sure we have all the chemicals we need at all times. And
so you're a very important man.
I don't know about that.
You make sure that thing's running 24/7, 365? Ooh, that's okay. Well, thank you for what you do. So we have good drinking water. Appreciate that. So, but anyways, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of dive right into this one because you guys had just did your annual report. It's on your website.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what's your website if people want to go see it?
CUDRC.com.
Easy enough. I'll put that in the description for you. And then you're doing a mailer too, right?
Yes, the annual report will reach most people in the form of an insert that comes with their billing statements.
Okay.
So it's actually an 11 by 17 page with a fly page inside of it folded to fit within those billing statements. Now, if they don't receive a printed billing statement, it's on our website.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure that everyone has access to it because we have a lot of data and information, and we try to make it a quick read and an entertaining read and also a visually interesting read too.
Yeah, I saw the digital copy of it. It looked pretty good. I was like, wow, this is nicely prepared. So, oh, that's you. You did that.
Yeah, I was fortunate over the years to learn from a lot of very good graphic designers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you're a Renaissance man. Many talents.
Not far, but I enjoy trying to steal other people's ideas as often as possible.
Hey, if it works, don't reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Cool. Well, what kind of information is on the annual report?
We try to cover a number of the different departments, but also think in terms of what's most relevant to the ratepayers, in terms of things like what kind of quality do they expect from the water treatment plant, all the way to our maintenance teams who go out into the county itself. What are their accomplishments? We think in terms of customer service because we get a good number of phone calls. A lot of folks having questions about everything from hey, I've got an issue with the water service line to questions about payments. We also have a little bit of information from our general manager. It covers really the waterfront, no pun intended, about all the different departments we've got. So we want to make sure that we're giving folks data that they can relate to and that shows them what we've accomplished over the course of the year.
Awesome. Okay. Now I have just a random question just popped in my head, and just because I don't know with this one, what is the actual business model of the CUD? Like, how does it make money? Are you sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we're actually a nonprofit.
Okay, so, that's what I was going to ask. Okay, got it.
It is a nonprofit public water utility.
Okay.
So right now we serve ballpark of probably between 170 and 200,000 people in the county. Yes.
Holy moly. Okay.
Well, a little background. Right now, Rutherford County is the fastest growing county in the state of Tennessee. Here's the stunning part. I checked this on Google, there are about 3,200 counties in America. Rutherford County ranks number 43 in terms of growth, so they can't build homes or businesses fast enough.
Holy moly. Yeah. Okay, jeez Louise.
Yeah. So our business model is we are a nonprofit, and therefore any profits we make actually go back into infrastructure upgrades, debt reduction, of which we're in great financial shape anyway, but mainly it's about preserving the quality of the water and the infrastructure that serves the water to folks. So yeah, we're not a for-profit, we are nonprofit, and we were established in 1968 when 4 different utility districts all got together, and so we exist at the pleasure of the state, and we have to be accountable to EPA and state laws at all times.
So 68. So what? You just celebrated 55 years last year?
We did.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So the water, I'm guessing, comes from Stone River.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
East
So
Fork.
as far as the plant goes, like what's that process? How do you get it from? I mean, that's a lot of people to be out of Stones River. So what's that process? How do you get it from river to faucet? How's that?
Okay, we have a raw water pumping station on the East Fork Stones River. It's about 3/4 of a mile from what we consider the mouth of Percy Priest Lake.
Okay.
From that pumping station, we have multiple variable speed pumps that can pump to our water treatment plant.
Okay.
Their capacities at about 16 million gallons each. There's 4 of those,
Holy moly.
up to 16. And then the water treatment plant, where we bring the water in, our capacity there is about 32 million now. We started
Oh my gosh.
in the early 80s when they built the first treatment plant at around 4 million, and then in the late 80s it went to about 8 million. And then around 2003 or 4, it went to 16, and then we just finished an expansion in 2020 up to 32.
Jeez, well, that's a good showing. Like you just said, how Rutherford County is growing so much. That makes me think of those math charts in school. Remember, you said 4 million or 2 million, and then 4, and then times it by 2, times it by 2. So it just keeps doubling.
Yes.
Is there plans for another one?
I'm sure there are.
I'm sure. Yeah, 64 million next. Oh my God, that's huge.
And if memory serves, we typically, in the past few years, we've reached the point where we're selling at least, I think, about 4 billion gallons per year. Based on the numbers
God.
that I've seen. Yeah.
Jeez, 4 billion gallons. That's a lot of water.
It's the growth of the county.
Yeah, and all from Stones River. It just sounds funny because Stones River in some areas is kind of small,
I know.
and some areas is kind of big. So just kind of to think that much water comes out of that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so cool. Well, okay. Well, now I know the business model and how it works. Appreciate that. But I want to jump back to one thing real quick because you always talk about the transparency of the CUD, and so like. Is all that information readily available on the website, or is it coming out in your annual report? Or if people want more information about it, is it public access? How's that work?
There's a few different ways. One is that we do have, at every monthly board meeting, we have the opportunity for ratepayers to come visit if they have questions, comments, concerns, whatever. We invite them to use that opportunity to speak to our Board of Commissioners. All they have to do is give us a heads up that they want to be there, and then what we'll do is we'll place them at the top of the agenda to respect their time, so they don't have to sit there through an entire meeting. They are actually first in line.
Okay. Yeah.
We also carry our financial audits on our website. Got multiple years of those. Great thing is we've had a clean bill of health for so many years now, so that folks know that their money is being cared for well. And we've also had a great run in terms of our cybersecurity as well. Knowing that we are a target helps us prepare to not be a target, so we can deploy defenses in that regard as well. But yeah, there are a number of ways that we kind of emphasize our accountability and transparency, and the annual report and the water quality report both factor into that.
Okay. You mentioned cybersecurity. Now, I know I live in some of that world a little bit. So, like, why is the CUD was something they would target? Is it simply because of the mass amount of personal data you have from people, like their address and where they live and that sort of stuff, or?
A few different reasons. One is that there would be the data. Second, we are a public utility that provides a vital service. Water, electric utilities are in the same boat with us. Any part of infrastructure is in the same boat with us, all over the nation. And a lot of utilities don't have the capability we do in terms of cybersecurity protection. We do have an IT director who is very well schooled in this area and holds, I think, the highest civilian clearance you can actually have.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay.
He received that or earned that certification. We were targeted over, if memory serves, over 150,000 times in 2023.
Holy moly.
Not one attack got through.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we know we are targeted.
That's a lot. Wow.
It is. We know we're targeted. We know all utilities are targeted. And so that helps us kind of remain vigilant at all times. And so we have, let's just say we've got a very well thought through defense in place.
So I bet so. If you knock off 150,000 attacks and not one got through, that's pretty impressive. Hey, kudos to your IT guy. Tell him thanks. That's awesome.
Well,
yeah, my info's in there too, so appreciate that. But Mr. Marlin, if you would, I'm just curious. I want to shift again.
Yeah.
Take us kind of through the day to day, if you don't mind. Like, what does your normal day look like? Or I know you manage the operators, right? So you're the head guy. watches them all. But so what's the typical day look like at the water plant? Like,
I would start going in and seeing. We kind of keep an eye on rates, what we're pumping each day,
Okay.
on what the demand of the county is. It varies from season to season, even week to week, based on holidays and things like that. But we try to be as efficient as we can with what we're doing. We don't want to over pump during the day and then put our night guys in a bind where they have to slow way down. We like to try to keep things as consistent as possible. So that means small adjustments and trying to be efficient with that. Being efficient with chemical feeds, learning. We still learn all the time about trying to be more efficient, even with electrical usage. If we can pump to where we can generate our own bleach on site through salt and brine.
Okay.
So we don't use chlorine gas anymore, which was a lot more dangerous, and they had a lot of stuff with that. So if we can generate at night and then pump more in the day and keep our energy below certain amount of kilowatts, that we can be more efficient with our electric bills.
Nice. Awesome. So I'm just curious. You said like someday, obviously they're seasonal. I would imagine you probably pump a little more in the summertime. I'd imagine that's just my guess. But like, so what do you have? And you said even on certain weeks or days, like, is that across the board? Like every year, can you set your watch to like, okay, at this time we're gonna have to start turning it up or anything like that? Like,
yeah, we see each month being really similar each year, and then right around Memorial Day, when people start filling pools, we see that weekend. We start gearing up for it because we know it's coming.
Beat me to it. I was going to ask that.
Yep.
So
and then when we get into June and July, it's still going to keep ramping up. And then
Memorial Day, is it like 4 times more or?
Not that much.
Not that much.
But maybe it could be 25 to 30% more.
Really?
Starting
all them pools
and then,
out there.
And then it'll keep. Ramping up.
That's funny. So I'm guessing around wintertime it generally goes down.
It does.
Yeah, okay.
And then when it gets really cold, people leave their faucets dripping.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of goes back up again. So,
I gotcha. So what type of, how do I word this? Like if there were a quote emergency, or something in water, like what would that look like? How does a pipe burst? Does something get clogged or anything like what type? Do you have like a SWAT team that comes in for the water department?
We have a lot of crews at CUD who deal with the leaks, and we have those every week. I mean,
I'd imagine so. Yeah. Okay.
They do a great job handling that. Our emergencies would be, if something is hurting the water quality for some reason, some kind of change in the lake, perhaps. Yeah. Say algae bloom or something like that, or manganese increases due to a lack of rain for a long period of time. Those are the things that we keep a close eye on, and then we would need to react to try to get that fixed. Okay.
Do you test that like usually weekly, daily, or anything, or is there like an alert that all of a sudden level's low or something like that? How's that work?
We walk the plant regularly, and we see the water coming into the plant and try to keep an eye on that. And if we see a lot more green water coming in, algae's coming in, or if we see kind of more yellowish water carrying through the basins into the filters, maybe manganese is going. We test that regularly. Okay. And we do things to react to that and try to treat that.
I gotcha. So I'm just picturing like the movies, like all of a sudden, some alarm going off, like algae coming in. But so is that just something? It sounds like you've been doing it so long, you could just kind of look at it and tell what's coming in. And
most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
But what you don't want is getting the phone calls. It's only gotten through, and then you're kind of chasing it. Then
I gotcha.
Because then you got to go out, and we got teams that do this water quality who go out and flush the water. And try to get that pushed through.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The system. Okay.
I gotcha. What would I just don't know the biology of that. Like what would algae coming through? What would that do?
It can create taste and odor issues.
Okay.
And people will hear that pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
And once you hear it, it'll be in the water plant zone, and then in the next day or two, it'll ripple out past more zones.
Okay.
And we have to deal with that. So our water quality's out flushing water and trying to deal with the phone calls and the complaints.
Yeah. I got you. Well, that's cool. It sounds like you're on it pretty good. So
I mean, the water's safe, but
yeah. That's and by the way, for those watching and listening, that's not what I was implying by any means. So I'm just curious. I don't know how that works. So
Yeah.
But cool. Okay.
You mentioned the testing as well. The testing is done on an ongoing basis.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a minimum of 120 samples they take
Mm-hmm.
per month, but it's actually much more than that because they're taking samples every day at various parts of the county, various spots to check for the levels of the chemicals in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the testing is done really on an ongoing daily basis, and it far exceeds what's actually done for bottled water. So, tap water has a far higher degree of scrutiny than any bottled water company out there. So,
Well, I would think so, actually, because, I mean, if it's bottled, it's already going through a process. But if it's tap, I would totally imagine so. That's cool. Okay. Awesome. So, my own curiosity. So, like, the phone calls you guys get, what are some of the common questions that people ask? Like, the most common you get?
on the customer end, for me, it very often has to do with how do I make a payment, or I haven't received a bill yet, and so on. So we actually have a number of pages on our website that speak to those very things. It's very often customer service work on my side. So I try to supplement our customer service team, and when I get a chat window open on Facebook, I'll very quickly gather the information I need and forward that to customer service. There are not a whole lot of utilities that operate real-time chat windows, so we do that, and it's actually 24/7. So I have.
And you're handling that?
It's me.
Whoa.
And I have had people
Okay.
reach out to me midnight, 2 a.m., and it's like, I'm asleep, okay?
Yeah.
I actually cannot respond at that point. But if it's, during, let's just say, waking hours,
Yeah.
they're hearing from me to some degree, yes.
I can only imagine how many, because I mean, I know what we get, and we get quite a few, and we have different channels and all that sort of stuff. And then people get mad at you if you don't get back to them within 20 minutes. And like you said, it's 3 a.m, I'm sleeping, but
Yeah.
I can only imagine you handle way more people than I do.
Well,
So,
I only handle a small number, actually, who come through on the Facebook chat window. What I'm really doing there is gathering the information to forward it to customer service, because
Okay.
they will actually have greater capability to help the customer at that point.
Gotcha.
And again, with a lot of those questions having to do with payments, especially folks who are new to the area, just
Yeah.
getting used to this water utility, then we can kind of hold their hand, walk alongside them and say, okay, here's what you just need to know about your payments going forward, that sort of thing.
okay, gotcha. All right, well, that sounds pretty easy then. I mean, like, you can just, here, go do this. Okay, you're good. Now, on the flip side, what kind of calls you get, Martin?
I get water quality more
Yeah,
calls.
okay,
They would
yeah.
just get directed to me. Things like people maybe who make beer or things might call and ask about the hardness in the water,
Yeah.
or what, how to
I
measure
never.
that.
Sorry, that makes me laugh. The brewery's calling. Hey, why is my water? Shout out to the breweries out there. There's several. I love those guys. So that's fine. Okay. Sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted.
and
Go
some
ahead.
people will call about their complaints about if they have some discoloration in their water or
Mm-hmm.
particulates. A lot of times that happens from hot water heaters precipitating hardness out of their water.
Yeah.
And it, there's things I can't explain to them, and there's things
Mm-hmm.
that I might have to pass along to Randy Harrell or someone in the water quality team who
Okay.
actually goes out to their home and sees what's going on in their homes.
Oh, okay.
Different people's plumbing may be causing issues there.
Yeah.
If they have their own filtration devices, which their filters, they have to be changed out too, just like. And
Yeah.
some people don't understand that, and they'll have old filters that are
Yeah.
causing them issues.
Like if they have like water softener things or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Totally get it.
Let me also mention that you just mentioned the water hardness. We hear that a fair amount of the time. So I started researching that myself, and what we've learned from the U.S. Geologic Survey is that Tennessee is actually very much in the middle ground when it comes to hardness. Hardness is actually something that's found in the vast majority of the U.S.
Okay.
The water, and the hardness, you see the little white spots or specks left behind after water comes out. It's very, very common in this part of the country, but it's actually significantly higher from Texas out through the Southwest and so on. You have significantly higher levels of hardness. So Tennessee is actually considered very middle ground
Nice.
when it comes to water hardness in the U.S.
Okay. Cool. Well, all right. Well, then go Tennessee then. So, yeah, I got you. Now, I'm just curious. Now, you had mentioned earlier about building out the plant, and obviously as we grow and things, is there a capacity to Stones River, you think, as far as like we can only pump so much, or we can only, as the county grows and you have to service more people, is there going to be a point where you're like, hey, we need to look somewhere else? Or
I'm sure there is. I don't know what that is. That would be an engineering question that I don't
Gotcha.
know the
Okay.
answer to.
It sounds like we're doing okay right now. So
Right.
yeah,
I think
still-
there's plenty of water now. It's
Yes.
just what the Corps of Engineer will allow us to take at the moment.
Oh, okay.
We can every time we make an upgrade, we have to request more capacity, and then that takes a lot of years to get approved through them. So
Oh, does it? Okay.
And if memory serves, didn't we have our first 20 million gallon day this past year?
our first
Yes.
20 million gallon
Yes.
day, yes.
I think that
Whoa.
was in June. So, but the other thing is, so that's the first 20 million gallon day, but the capacity is actually 32 million gallons. So there's still a ceiling, we haven't not reached, obviously. But yeah, we were 20 million gallons in a day is pretty remarkable.
Yeah. When was you said up to the 32 million? When was that last? When was that upgrade?
2020.
Oh, 2020?
It was
Yes.
completed September
Okay.
of 2020.
Do you remember when so that was 32. So when was 16 million?
2004,
Okay.
2005.
So 16 years for 16 million gallons. So a million gallons a year. Wow. Okay. I'm just sorry. I'm just easy math here. I'm trying to figure it out. So, okay. So in a couple of years, we'll need 64. No. I'm just kidding. Cool. Okay. So what other type questions do you get? Anything that you want to, I'm just thinking for people that are watching, if they can go ahead and address it now, and knock it out of the way.
Yeah, on occasion we get questions relating to some degree of cybersecurity.
Okay.
And that actually manifests usually through folks who don't like what is called the convenience fee that goes along with online payments.
Yeah.
Very understandable. I understand how they can feel that way. In fact, when I lived in Alabama a number of years ago, we had a fee associated with a lot of our utility payments too that was even higher than that back then. But the fee is actually not kept by CUD. That's the thing. That fee goes to a third-party company that assists with the cybersecurity itself. So they help on the data protection side, and that convenience fee goes to that contract we have with them. So we are not keeping that money, actually. That's one thing that I like to let folks know when they say, okay, I don't like paying this fee. And I say, I understand that's perfectly logical and perfectly reasonable to feel that way. Just know that we're not hoarding that fee. It actually goes to what we pay to that third-party company we
Gotcha.
work with.
Okay. Well, it's going on the fee thing, like is people's bills, for example. So, what are some ways that people, if they call in, how do I reduce my bill? Stuff like that. What are some tips that people can take and run with to help reduce their bill?
A lot of it comes back to, I guess, awareness of where the water usage is. The typical home averages a little bit over 300 gallons of usage per day.
Okay.
So you just kind of need to know where your water is being used, and it's the obvious places. It is your shower, toilet, dishwasher, kitchen sink, things of that nature. But the other thing is, if folks have a leak, we actually have a really strong leak detection team.
Oh, yeah?
They have decades and decades of experience. They're very, very good at going out and identifying where the leaks are and plugging them, stopping them.
Yeah.
And also letting folks know, okay, if you're seeing leakage in your system, we actually send out, if we detect 24-hour continuous usage in any line, we will send out a voicemail to that customer to let them know, hey, we're noticing higher water usage.
Oh, nice.
Is there a problem we should know about? Is there maybe a leak in the toilet or something like that that's going to contribute to a higher bill? We try to help them kind of figure that out so they can reduce their usage that comes from a leak.
Dang.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that's okay. That's a lot of maintenance, I would imagine, or keeping track. That's awesome.
It is, and we also have, for a little bit of reference, we've got, I think, just a little bit over 1,500 miles of water pipe underneath the county.
Holy moly!
Yeah. So, as a point of reference for that data point, that is greater than the distance from Murfreesboro to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's all underground in Rutherford County.
In Rutherford County, that is a long drive because I actually used to live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so
Really?
I've made that drive. So I
Wow.
know how long that is. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool. A fun fact for the day.
Yes,
there.
exactly.
But you had mentioned things like the water usage for showers and flushing. I've heard somewhere. Is this still true that like every time you flush the toilet, it's X amount of gallons, like it's like 7 gallons or something like that? Is that still true, or do you know?
Probably depends on the toilet. Depends on the model.
I'd imagine, and there's new toilets that are water
Yeah,
efficient
overflow.
and things like that, and so
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about like a shower? Like say per minute of shower, is there a kind of a rule to go by?
Well, these are typically pennies per usage.
Okay.
In fact, this is a little bit of a tangent to that, but when we had the cold spell, and folks there were some folks who would post about they thought that CUD would be getting rich off of people dripping their faucets, and it's like, okay, there are a few different things to recognize. Number one, of course, we are a nonprofit, so if we're making a profit, it's going back to serve our ratepayers through infrastructure upgrades. But second, the amount of money you're going to spend on that drip is literally pennies compared to a full-blown repair, which would be typically hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Your water bill will be impacted by probably somewhere between $2 to $5 overall by dripping the faucet.
Oh, that's nothing. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Like you said, pennies on the. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. But I was just curious. You said the average family is 300 gallons a day, and sometimes I'm guilty of this too. Like if I'm taking a shower in the morning and it's a nice warm shower, I'll just stand there and I'm like, this feels great, But next thing you know, you're in there for 10 minutes. And you're like, oh, whoops, hey, this should have been a 5-minute shower. So I was just curious if I had cut it off at 5 minutes versus 10, like how many gallons would that save? Or
It would save some gallons for sure, but in terms of the overall cost, you're still looking at pennies.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, that's easy. See, now I don't feel so bad.
No.
I would just hate God. Well, it says there's a ceiling that we haven't hit yet, so now I still don't feel bad. So I can take a long shower.
You can.
Yeah. Or those giant bathtubs. Have you seen on like new construction homes? Some of these homes have huge tubs, and it's like, what is that, 80 gallons or something? I don't know how big, but fill those things up.
This may qualify as TMI, but I'm a complete shower person. I don't even use the tub whatsoever. So, okay, that's enough of that. So.
No, that's right. I got you. Random story. I remember this from college. One of my college professors, I don't even know why he told us this, but he said that he went out and got 4 water heaters because he likes to take like hour-long showers. And he said he literally would joke. He goes, I'll take a 6-pack of beer in there and I sit and do this and that. And we're like, you take hour. So he has 4 water heaters to supply all the hot water. I was like, dang, man, how much? Well, anyway, sorry. Random. That professor will remain nameless, but
yes.
I still remember that to this day if he's watching. He or she. Sorry, I should say. Anyways, cool. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on and sharing all this. Thank you. I know I got to be cognizant of your time this morning. Go back to work. But the annual report. Is there anything else you want to throw out there about that people can expect?
Yeah, look for it in their billing statements. Mostly late February into March as well. So it's going to run for 30 days. We have various cycles, as we call it, various, districts or whatever you want to term it in the county. So it reaches different folks at different times. It's on a staggered system. So that will be reaching them if they receive printed statements. If they are receiving e-bills, then it's on our website. So it's public. I mean, we want it to be public because we don't mind having a bullseye on our back because we feel that our work speaks for itself, and we're happy to put the information out there for folks to know what we accomplish throughout our various departments over the course of a year.
Yeah. Well, and as a customer, I appreciate that as well because, like you said, you have a target on your back because you're a necessity. People got to have you. So being so transparent and putting all that out there and talking about the plant, thank you. We do appreciate that. So thank you.
The other thing is, in just a few months, we'll also have our water quality report come out.
Okay.
So that will also show the accomplishments of the water treatment plant. And there's not been a single violation for years and years now.
Nice.
So some of our newer employees out there have remarked when they've come from other plants, they've spoken about how clean this plant is.
Okay.
And it is remarkably clean at all times. Y'all run a very, very tight ship.
Yeah, we were actually awarded this past year as the AWWA Tennessee Kentucky Large Plant of the Year for Tennessee and Kentucky.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
Nice. All right. Okay, so you guys are a nonprofit, so you don't make any money, meaning that all the money goes back into it. You're very clean. You're winning awards. You're very transparent on everything, and you're knocking out 150,000 cyber attacks a year. So, and we have low tested hard water compared to the rest of the country, right? Did I say that right?
It's very kind of the medium zone, but the quality of the water is very transparent, and that goes through state and federal guidelines too.
Yeah. Awesome. And we still haven't hit capacity on the water, so we're growing. Even though we're growing, you still handle it, and
Yes.
plans for growth even beyond that. So, sounds like we're in good shape.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and like I said, we don't mind the questions because we are happy to let folks know what's going on because we have a very good story to tell.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of questions, if anybody out there watching, listening, whatever, if they have questions, if they want more information about any of the stuff you guys do, where can they find it? How can they get a hold of you?
A number of ways, actually.
Okay.
Our Facebook page gets used quite a bit. We do have that real-time chat window. Yes, I have to sleep sometime, but yes.
Give them a break, people. Come on.
Yeah, the real-time chat window is there at all times. On our website, there is the contact page. They can reach out to us through there. We also have our customer service line, 615-893-7225. So via social, via email, via phone, we are available. Our business hours are 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday.
All right, cool. And I will recap all that in the description, so y'all can get that in the description. Just click right through. Awesome. Mr. Marlin, do you have anything you want to add?
Probably not.
Probably not. I got you. Easy peasy. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on and talking about all this. Thank you. So if you haven't received it or seen it on the website already, look for in your mailbox for the annual report. And again, if you have any questions, all that stuff, again, is in the description. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. And for all those watching, thanks for tuning in as always, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.